Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Charles IJ. To our first story, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation has announced the acquisition of 7% commercial interest in both the Jubilee and TEN blocks from Occidental Petroleum for a purchase price of $199 million with effect from the 1st April 2021. Now, this is in line with GNPC and government strategy of increasing its participation of stakes in viable oil blocks. The acquisition adds to GNPC's existing carried and participating interest of 13.64% in the Jubilee field and the 15% in the TEN field. In a statement to this regard, the GNPC says the interest acquired will be transferred to GNPC's subsidiary, which is the GNPC Exploration and Production Company. Well, with this acquisition, GNPC Exploco will become part of the contractor group for the two blocks, together with Tullow, Petro SA and Cosmos Energy. Well, let's break this all down because we're joined via Zoom by energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Sulemana for some expert analysis on the prospect of this move on the Ghanaian economy. We're so grateful that you could join us. What does this mean for the GNPC?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Charles. I hope you can hear me, Charles.
You're loud and clear. Thank
you. In generally, if you look at the market in the upstream industry, whenever oil prices are going up or down, that is when you begin to hear this kind of mergers and acquisitions. And these are all strategic moves by, upstream players, just to increase their stake and gain strategic advantage whenever it is necessary. So overall, what I think is, I thought that this is an excellent move. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because, Charles, if you look at our current state within the fields that we have, in fact, we are resource owners. As a matter of fact, if you look at our interests, as in our percentage in the field that are currently existent, just like we've mentioned, 13%, 15%, and then I think ENI 20%. That is so little. But if you look at the quantum of money that we gain from even this little amount of this kind of percentages that we are enjoying, we are estimating over 800 million. So just look at the fact, just imagine if we can increase our stake to, let's say, 20%, 30%, or even 50%. That is huge money. Of course, it comes with commitment. This is a commercial interest, which means that we're going to pay for that. But I think even paying for that in the long run is an excellent move, because every upstream player at the end of the day is supposed to be gravitating to what we call a standalone operatorship. And before it can be a standalone operatorship, one of the requirements, not a major requirement, but it is prerequisite that you become a majority shareholder, or you have a lot of stake, And so, to the extent that we are having less than 20 in these fields, in the TEN and the Jubilee fields, acquiring more stake, moving us to a higher percentage. First of all, when the proceeds are coming, we're going to gain a lot. Then secondly, it will enhance our capability of gravitating to, a standalone operatorship. And I think that is the way to go if you do that. Because at the end of the day, when the returns are coming, it comes with the percentage that you are contributing. Yeah.
But does it mean that enough revenue for infrastructure projects now that we're trying to own our reserves this time around?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's a strategic move. I mean, it's a move that it's like a trade-off. You may have to trade off something, to gain another thing. So at the end of the day, we may need this money for other, projects such as infrastructure or whatever. But I want to look beyond that, Charles. It is always good to sacrifice today and then benefit tomorrow.
All right.
I'm saying that because it will come to a time that most of our players may begin to leave. And see, Occidental is just giving out some of their shares. Maybe tomorrow, Tullow, ENI, or whatever, they also want to give out their shares. So we have to prepare ourselves to be a strategic position to be able to gain these shares whenever it becomes available. And when we do gain them, the advantage is what I mentioned, two advantages. First of all, it will help us in the standalone operatorship. And when the proceeds are coming, it will come in quantums that will commensurate with whatever our participating interests or participating rights are. So I think it's an excellent move. Yes, we have to trade off something, but we have to think about tomorrow. So that when our existing players, at a point in time, they decide to say that they are fed up, playing in Ghana, or their commercial interest is no more met once they are existing in Ghana and they decide to leave, we are not going to find ourselves wanting. Yeah. So in short, what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, if ENI, Talu, at this moment, mention that they are leaving Ghana, it means that our upstream is going to collapse. I mean, it will gravitate to a halt. That's what it means, because we are not in a position, to be a standalone operator. So all these moves, I think it is a move in the right direction, not now, but in future, so that at the point in time when these players want to leave, Ghana would be in a strategic position, to manage its own affairs, number one, and then also to take care of its destiny. Yeah.
Well, let's now come down to the downstream, because in a related matter we want to take your take on full levies being scrapped for the next 2 months. What's your positioning on this?
Yeah, I think it's a good move, a very good starting point. We've been calling for this for quite a long time, and I think the government is beginning to move. It is small, but I think the posture of government at this point is an excellent posture, and I think we have to commend that. For all we know, maybe other moves will come, maybe other taxes will be looked at. Because what is happening, though this tax may not have that drastic, significant impact on the price build-up or what the consumer pays. But what I'm trying to say is that it may end up stabilizing the price, because we are not done yet with the global prices charts. As I speak to you now, we haven't Brent at 84, it's almost 85. So don't be surprised that our players may want to increase prices again, maybe in the next window. So probably if some of the taxes are taken up, when it is time for the PSPs to increase the price, probably it may end up stabilizing the whole thing. So it may not end up reducing the price instantly, but the target is to stabilize the price from going up in perpetuity, like what is happening now. Because yes, prices may go up again, because oil prices are around 85.
Great, but even as government steps in, we do understand that consumers are still expected to witness an increase in prices by 7% tomorrow regardless. How do we balance this?
Wow, I'm just hearing this from you for the first time. Of course, this is exactly what I was talking about. In fact, I mentioned that this reduction in taxes has to go along with stability in the global front. What I mean by stability is our currency should be stable, number one. That is our forex, which is not stable as we speak now. Number two, the global oil prices should be stable, which is not stable. So for consumers to stand a better place to benefit, these two indicators have to be stable, because they are all going into the price build-up. And so don't be surprised that, this increment is coming, because oil prices are still rising, and they are rising very fast. So we have to balance the two. Increment of 7% and taking up of this stabilization level, is it able to balance? I doubt that it's going to balance. It's going to be very difficult for consumers to stand a chance to benefit. But I think government could still look at other taxes like SPT and then the rest. But overall, I think the move is a positive one, and we must commend the government for that, because this is difficult. And I'm saying that it's difficult because that is the only thing that is possible for the government to do, to look at the taxes and make sure that the taxes are minimized. When the taxes are minimized, what will happen is that, Charles, it will lubricate the economy. Consumer spending has to be enhanced. If consumer spending is not enhanced, we're going to find ourselves in a difficult situation. That's what we are having now. So removing the taxes, I think, would be an excellent thing to do. And if you look at other taxes, just to help balance. Other than that, they could reduce the taxes, and then the international fronts may not allow consumer to benefit. And I think that is what's going to play out now.
Well, before we let you go, Doctor, we want to just go back to the GNPC matter, because we'll also want to get your understanding of the state of maturity regarding these two fields, more than 10 years in the sector. Is this really worth the investment?
Yeah, that's a very interesting one. Unfortunately, I don't have much details about what is currently existing so far as these fields are concerned.
All right.
And so what my understanding is that, or my take, from where I'm coming from as an energy strategist in the upstream and downstream, these things should have been done already. In fact, if GNPC did not do this kind of basic fundamental checks to make sure that these reserves are still viable, and then go into purchasing it, I think it's going to be a very big mistake. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that these things have been done. And fortunately, to TEN and Jubilee fields are existing fields. It's only something people can talk about. They have been existing for the past, let's say, 10 years plus. And usually when fields go when fields exist up to a decade, beyond a decade and a half, let's say 15 years, they begin to plateau.
Right.
And then beyond that, production will begin to drop. So those who are saying that they should look at that, I think it's a legitimate call, so just so that we make, we have value for money. But I think GNPC would have done all this. Other than that, they wouldn't go into such a deal, yeah.
Dr. Suleiman, we're grateful that you could join us with your expert analysis once again. He's an energy strategist helping us with matters happening within the upstream sector.